Hello viewers, welcome to Sunday Politics on Trust Television. I am, as usual, Ali M. Ali, your host. Since the presidential primaries was conducted and concluded recently, who becomes the running mate of the flag bearers became a knotty issue. Some say it is even knottier for the two leading political parties, that is, of the ruling APC and the main opposition, People's Democratic Party, PDP. In the APC, like we all know, it is the question of faith. What faith would the running mate be? Why in the PDP, it was a question of which of the geopolitical zone the running mate will come from. Well, not anymore. That has been settled. But for days, this question will be, people asked, will it be from the southeast or the south-south or the southwest? Let me take you back a little in history. In the 2019 election, the PDP chose a running mate from the southeast and made significant vote harvest in the polls. Some had expected that the status quo would be maintained in the 2023 election. However, in the aftermath of the fallout of the gubernatorial primaries, especially a lot of the party bigwigs of the PDP in the South exited from the party. Among them are, well, by now you know all of them, Senators Inye Abaribe, ex-minority Senate leader, Ike Nkoromadu, former deputy Senate president, and of course, Peter Obi, whose ship berthed at the Labour Party dockyard. If you remember, Obi paired with Atiku to run in the 2019 general election. This time around, the PDP flag bearer picked Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, currently the governor of the Delta State, as his running mate. Joining me to discuss the emergence of Okowa is Ike Abonyi, a veteran journalist and public affairs analyst. He was the media aide of the immediate past chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondus. You are welcome to the program, Ike.
Thank you, viewers.
Yes. Yes, at this juncture, let's take a look at the unveiling of Okowa. Then we go on a break, and then we come back from the break, we look at the issues. Watch.
Accordingly, let me state that the person I have chosen as my running mate possesses those identified qualities. He personifies not only the seriousness the current moment represents for our country, but also the future that our young people yearn for and also deserve. He is a serving governor who has demonstrated in his state and through his conduct that governance is about service to the people. I know that he will not only add excitement to our already energized ticket and campaign, but will also help to bring focus, discipline, and stability to our government come 2023. I am pleased, therefore, to announce here my choice of running mate who will help to lead us to victory next year, not only in the presidential election, but also in the governorship and legislative elections. And he will be by my side as I work hard every day to provide our people with security, revive our economy, improve education, and unite our country. He has both legislative and executive experiences. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the ticket the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Governor Ifeanyi Arthur Okowa.
In case you are just tuning in, you are watching Sunday Politics on Trust Television, and today we are discussing the emergence of Okowa as the running mate of Atiku. Just before we went on that break, you showed the short footage of the unveiling of Okowa as Atiku's running mate. Now, let's go straight to our guest, Ike Abonyi, who is still here in the studios with us. How do you react to some of the flattering colors, perhaps, the presidential flag bearer of the PDP used to describe his running mate?
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here. And the issue of running mate is the reigning issue in the country. Expectedly, having picked the flag bearers, we expect parties to get their running mates. Without a running mate, the ticket is not complete. That's what the law said. But the drama that has gone on with the running mate issue has even made it more interesting, because suddenly we start seeing people who said they were for president or not, and also joining in the race for the vice president, and joining in it in a very desperate way. So the thing exposes politicians for what they are, looking for opportunity at the slightest moment. What the former vice president and the presidential flag bearer of PDP said of his running mate, well, his running mate, the governor of Delta State, has some qualities that Nigerians admire. He's not a loud man. He's calm. He looks disciplined. These are qualities. These are some of the qualities that somebody is going to be a running mate should have. You don't have to bring a bully to be a running mate to somebody. It will make the race too quarrelsome. So, to an extent, yes, the choice of Okowa, given what the role of a vice president or a running mate should be, is good. It's okay by all standards, because Okowa has demonstrated that he looks a disciplined man as a politician. For 7 years, he has been governor of Delta State, and we have not seen much of controversy in that state, despite Delta being made up of various ethnic groups, but he has been able to carry on without controversy. So I think he possesses certain qualities.
Well, you are talking of personal attributes now, about his gentle mien and his maybe not being controversial, as opposed to some other elements. Now, when you say there was some drama leading to the emergence of the running mate of the drama, as in, well, you mentioned some other people. What other interests?
Yes, the law says when a flag bearer emerges, he picks his running mate.
Yes, constitutionally.
In conjunction, after consulting with critical stakeholders. But we saw in this case a 20 or 19-man panel being set up to recommend or to nominate a vice president. And we saw the drama that went into it. For the first time, we started hearing in the media voting that some people have been voted for to be the running mate. At the end of the day, the people who said they were voted for didn't get it. So it's a drama because it was unnecessary. They didn't need to go into a committee. That committee is supposed to be advisory. They didn't need to go into a committee and start voting for people.
Yes.
It was uncalled for. That drama was uncalled for. Then the hype that followed it, the media announcing, maybe possibly at the instigation of some interest, started announcing that somebody has emerged. At the end of the day, the person did not emerge. What that has created is more bad blood within the system. Because somebody is saying that he has been nominated by the party, but the candidate is saying, this is my choice. This drama was avoidable because the candidate and the party should be on one page. You make a recommendation to the candidate picks who he likes, which is what he has done. But to me, the drama was avoidable, and it has not helped the party in any way, because somebody is feeling that he is the choice of the party, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, but Ike, being an insider, at a point, I've been media advisor to the former chairman of the party. I mean, that puts you in your vintage position to determine who at this juncture is perhaps more responsible in choosing a running mate. Is it the candidate or the party now?
No, is the candidate. That's what the Electoral Act says.
I see.
The candidate.
So why is the party now, like you were saying now, it's in the public domain that a lot of names were touted, but one name remained a constant denominator, which you've not named, but I guess our viewers may want to know really who would that be. But I mean, it's at your...
No, you see, the candidate has the right to choose his running mate. He's also at his discretion to see who to consult in the process.
And having a committee set up expressly to determine who becomes the running mate?
Yes, that committee was not at his instigation. Immediately after his victory, governors met him and wanted to be part of the process. And I want to take you back to 2019. The same candidate won. He was the flag bearer of PDP in 2019. He made his choice outrightly, picking P2B as his running mate. Some Southeast leaders, mostly governors, didn't like it. They felt they were not consulted. But the truth is not that they were not consulted, but that they were not picked. Because if they had picked one of them, they wouldn't be saying they were not consulted.
So that was the motive, really?
So, with that background of the noise, in quote, that followed 2019, learning from that, the candidate this time wanted to be seen to carrying everybody along. It's okay. Let everybody make their input. BOT sent a representative to that committee. Governor sent a representative to that committee. NWC sent a representative to that committee to look at the people that can be vice president and make a recommendation to the candidates. And they made the recommendation of 3 names.
I see.
But the drama into it was that after the decision of the committee recommending 3 names, one name went to the media and said he has been chosen. At the end of the day, that person didn't get it, and now created more bad blood in the system. And that is the drama that I said was played into it. It was avoidable because, to me, that committee was unwieldy. Why do you need 20-man committee to advise a candidate on who can be vice president?
Yes.
And why should the committee go into voting for something you recommend to people?
Yes.
But, you know, this is a time of pecuniary interest, so everything can go on at a point. But that's exactly what's played out in the drama. But the choice of the candidate is final.
I see.
Because that's what the law said.
Yes. Well, you know, Ike, you mentioned the fact that some of the personal attributes of the the running mates. He's calm, he's without a lot of controversy, maybe excess baggage known for some governors. Now, what about what is he bringing to the ticket now? But before you answer that, we'll go on a quick break, and when we return, perhaps you give us a response to that. Well, viewers, we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, our guest will take on the issues I raised about what value the running mate will be bringing to the ticket. Stay tuned, don't go away. In case you are just tuning in, you are watching Sunday Politics on Trust Television, and our guest is Ike Abonyi, a veteran journalist and public affairs analyst. Before we went on break, we've been discussing the emergence of Okowa as the running mate to Atiku Abubakar. And just before we went on that break, I asked our guest, what value would Okowa be adding or bringing to the ticket. Now, Mr. Aboyi, yes, before we went on break,
Yeah.
what value, and because we spoke so much about his personal attributes, now let's look at his political worth. What is he likely to bring to the table? Because after all, it's all about winning now.
Yeah. Yes. From what the candidate says in the footage you watched,
Yes.
he will be his partner as they struggle to find solution to the challenges of the country. To me, Okowa will be bringing stability and the necessary serene that is needed for the presidency to think about how to go about solving Nigerian problem. Being a calm, quiet person, he will be giving the presidency that calmness that is required to tinker into what the solutions will be looking ahead. And he may not be an economic wizard, but he had the discipline of, I think he's a good listener. And this presidency thing, it requires a good understanding of number one and number two to be able to solve any problem. And Okowa looks it like that character that can always be by his boss. And that is the most important aspect of it, so that his boss can trust him and he can trust his boss. We have seen in this country how there has been a setback in the administration because of misunderstanding between number one and number two. Virtually every presidency had a problem. Obasanjo had a problem with Atiku, and it almost brought government down that time. The Osinbajo and President Buhari have not enjoyed the best of romance the way it should be.
But they've not been seen in public space, perhaps.
They have not been seen, but the fact
the way
that
Atiku and Obasanjo...
yes, they have not been seen possibly because this is the first time. And I mean, they are already on their last term, and Osinbajo was looking out to the president nominating him. But if after 7 years of working as vice president and you want to hand over the country from somebody from the vice president's side and you look away from him, what picture is that showing?
But one would say that actually it's the will of the delegates and perhaps the party as a whole, because the delegate didn't trust, perhaps didn't vote for the vice president. It's not really the will of the president.
Alimia, you know how delegates are picked in this country. I don't want to speak for APC, but from all indication, the candidate that emerged from APC doesn't seem to be the choice of what APC planned for. If APC are run into trouble picking the candidates they didn't desire, it's because the president was not in charge. And that's what played out. And it's still playing out, even as we speak now. The flag bearer has not been able to pick a running mate. He's putting a pseudo person.
Yes.
An evidence that their house is still in
well, most of the political parties have today is, I mean, well, most...
no, when we are talking... Yeah, I know. It's not, they still have freedom, but it's also a measure of it. If the president who told us a few months back that he has a preferred candidate, but we would like to keep his name out to avoid him being destroyed, ended up not giving any name.
Actually, even saying he did not have a...
And even when somebody wanted to help him by giving a name, he disowned the person. And the party arrived where they are. It shows you the confusion in the system that led to that. The confusion is still multiplying because the candidate is boxed between Muslim ticket, Muslim-Christian ticket, and at the end of the day, they have not been able to arrive at this. That's why he's putting a pseudonym. And this is a measure of how APC are run this country. When you cannot take a decision as a leader, you have a price for it. And the price APC had paid for it, Nigeria is also paying for it.
Now, Unanda, you mentioned the Muslim thicket, which we capture in the course of this program, in the introduction of this program. What's your view about that? Because clearly now, even for, well, the name being touted as a balancing act for Tinubu is another Muslim. What's your take? What do you think Nigeria is ripe enough? I mean, can repeat what happened in 1993?
No, but I'm one of those who believe that religion is not our problem. Our problem is politics. Politicians.
Yes.
If religion is our problem, you will see Muslim and Christians fighting in the boardroom of corporate firms. You will see Muslim and Christians fighting in the newsroom of media houses. They don't fight there. When they are sharing money in their companies, they don't fight there. The problem is politicians. Why should northern governors conspire against Lawan and say they want a southerner? Mm-hmm. Because they know that if Lawan becomes the candidate, all of them cannot be anything again. Mm-hmm. But if a southerner becomes, mm-hmm. one of them can be a vice presidential candidate. They conspired against Lawan. Mm-hmm. Now that the power had gone to the south, mm-hmm. the same northern governors mm-hmm. cannot conspire. It's okay, one of us, like Lalong, take mm-hmm. it.
Yeah.
They are now saying they can't win election. If all the APC northern governors conspire to work for Tinubu, why wouldn't Tinubu win election in the north? It's the politicians and their interests using religion at the detriment of the country. And that's why, to me as a person, in as much as it doesn't matter to me which religion, but I know that Muslim tickets, if northern governors say that they want power to go to south for peace, tranquility, the same reason why Muslim ticket should be jettisoned, because it will not give peace and tranquility. And it has not worked.
Yeah.
The Abdullah Kingibe, you saw how it ended. Buhari Idabo did not last.
But Gawan Way lasted for 9 whole years.
But that was when Nigeria was not politicized in this way we are now. Because immediately Idabo Buhari failed, Babangida and others learned from it, and they never made the mistake. You see, it's not where we are in 1960. No, remember that Sadana was offered to come and be the prime minister, and he said no, he doesn't want to leave north. Can you imagine anybody now being offered from Kaduna or Kano to say come and be president or vice president? He said no, I don't want. That is the situation then.
Well, okay, let me just, we digress from Okowa. Let's just go back to Okowa now.
Yes.
What would be the first thing now you expect Okowa to do now? You've listed all his strong qualities, just like the vice president, the flag bearer of the party did, about his gentility, about his stability, about his serenity, the serenity around him. But what would you, because you mentioned that even his emergence had brought about a lot of division, but Bele, I think you used that word.
Yes.
So what would Okowa be the first thing Okowa would do now, perhaps?
What Okowa needs to do?
You want to set an agenda for him?
Yes, what Okowa needs to do, because the party is in a very precarious situation now.
Yes.
Reconciliation is key. If they go into this election like this and expect victory, then they are deceiving themselves. Reconciliation is key to all this, because all these avoidable dramas. Since July last year, the party has been thrown into confusion because of ambition. That race is over. It's now time to pick the pieces. So I expect Okowa, because he's a humble person, he can open the process. But without that, they will have a serious challenge, because another thing Okowa needs to do, because he's younger than the candidates, and Nigerians are rebelling. Nigerian youths are rebelling, and they are feeling that a change had to come. If Okowa is the younger of the candidates, he should provide that gap, and Nigeria wants to see it happen.
Well, we have to end today's program on that note. Thank you, Mr. Abonyi, for having the time to grace our studio. Viewers, in the last 30 minutes or so, we've been talking with Ike Abonyi, a political analyst and a journalist, a veteran journalist for that matter. He has been in the newsroom. He has been media advisor to the former chairman of the PDP, which is Sekundu. Thank you once again. Goodbye till we meet again.
Thank you, yes.